invite you to close your eyes and place a hand on your belly and a hand on your heart. Feel the frequencies of the sound pass through your most amazing bioorganic computer of a body. We dedicate this sound healing, this session, meditation to the highest good of all. We invite along Buddha, Deity Christ, the Universal Masters, and everyone's power animals, spirit guides, guardian angels, passed over loved ones, and all and every highest of highest vibrational frequency being, all only with positive intentional thoughts to assist in whatever way they see fit. You can either listen, or if you so wish, repeat after me a full moon forgiveness ritual poem for clearing and cleansing, transforming and transcending. Under the glorious full moon, we forgive everything, everyone, every experience, every memory of the past or present that needs forgiveness. We forgive positively everyone. We also forgive ourselves of past mistakes. The universe is love, and we are forgiven and governed by love alone. Love is now adjusting our life. Realizing this, we abide in peace. We bring love and healing to all of our thoughts, beliefs and relationships. We learn our lessons and move on. We call on our soul fragments to be cleansed by the full moon, and we call on them to rejoin us. We send love to ourselves and everyone we know, and everyone who knows us, in all directions of time and non-time. Under this glorious full moon, we are healed. Our life is healed, and so it is, so be it. So now that you've been brought into your bodies, if you haven't already, and if you had your eyes closed in the first place, you can open them now. This is Let's Learn Together. Our name's Neve Coleman. That's the host body. And I have dissociative identity disorder, the new terminology for multiple personality disorder. It's a genius coping mechanism of early childhood trauma. We also have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is a connective tissue disorder, a malfunction of the collagen protein. We've got a beautiful autistic brain and a processing language disorder. We had seizures 3.5 years ago, end of October 2016, on a Scorpio new moon, which is what transpired to us then, that left us in regressed states of all different personalities and really young alters that couldn't function the body at times. So we've been on a alternative healing journey because we believe it was the medication that triggered us into the seizures. And we are looking for a way to eventually get off benefits. Now we use oracle cards, and we're just starting to learn tarot. We also use crystals. We've got our shungite cleansed chakra crystal moon charged water. So we have our full moon water, used to be in a red, but now it's green. And we have our new moon water in a red kiln or jar, but it used to be green. They switched around a little while ago. The moon affects the tides of the sea. It makes the seasons and it keeps Earth on its axes. We as humans are around 70% water. So in my opinion, I don't know if there's too much scientific proof out there really, it affects the human body. I don't need scientific proof as much anymore. I come from a science and maths background. So yeah, let's learn together. So we've got the cards out here. We've got 3 different packs. We've got the front here, we have the Moonology oracle cards. The next row, we have the Queen of the Moon oracle cards. And at the back row, we have this one. So we've done our Iyengar yoga teacher training, our sound healing teacher training. We started college and did a complementary therapies course with reflexology, aromatherapy and Swedish massage. We're Reiki. We didn't complete any of them because of our ailments, sadly, but we are also aware now that we didn't start them to actually qualify them. We started them to give us the knowledge so that when we came to where we are now, we had the tools and the knowledge to be able to heal ourselves. And this is the message that we want to get across, is about self-empowerment. Our name is Shinto self-empowerment, and it's about understanding that these most amazing bioorganic computers of a body that we live in has innate healing properties, and using nature and plant medicine, animal medicine, crystals, water, belief systems. This is epigenetics, Bruce Lipton, and that's what this Sagittarius moon, full moon's all about. It's about letting down belief systems, whereas the last full moon was Scorpio, and that was the shadow work, delving into the deep subconscious psyche. Now, dissociative identity disorder is the alternate personalities, is the deep subconscious psyche. Now, you may be wondering, what does this have to do with you? But everyone is on a journey to be not everyone is on a journey to be the best versions of themselves. Some are quite happy as they are, but everyone will suffer some kind of trauma and some kind of hurdles in their life. And the majority of people get to a certain point in their life where they want to instill change, and they're not quite content, they're not happy, they want to change something but don't know what and don't know how. And if you're not one of those people, you're one of those people that gets angry at society, or gets angry at the world, gets angry at the hate and the violence and all the injustice things that are going on out there. Now, if you get into the science of the brain and the mind and how it really works, David Eagleman on BBC documentaries on the brain has a really good 6-episode series of how the brain works. And basically everything is an illusion. And it's the reflection of light coming in through our eyes, which goes into a black box, then goes into the processing system of our brain. And it depends how our individual brains process to then what information comes out again. The information that goes into our brain goes in through the 5 physical senses. And then there's what we call the 6th sense, which is the energetic sense. So when your eyes are open, you are in the collective external reality, which involves everyone. But you are the main story of your character. Now, when you close your eyes, you go into your internal world. And how we process and perceive our internal world depends on what our internal senses are like. Now, I can only guess from things that I've watched and people that I've spoken to, because I attempted suicide when I was 18. So I've been on this self-awareness journey. Even before then, our father was very self-aware. So we were brought up as very self-aware. And a lot of my alternate personalities are very self-aware. So I've been on a journey after I attempted suicide that I couldn't do that again, no matter how hard things got and how much I needed to escape because of the physical pain of the Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, the EDS, because I couldn't do to my brother and my father and other people that lost our mother, because we lost our mum to suicide, or suspected suicide. She was found washed up on a beach when I was 4, my brother was 7. So I couldn't cause that pain on them again. Plus, the more I learn about life, it was like, no way am I coming back to repeat these same patterns again and tick it all off again. So I may as well do our best. Now, didn't realise there'd be lots of personalities and people inside this one body that we'd have to transform and transcend and get to know. Now, it's really hard to get to know ourselves. We have to become aware of our actions, but more importantly, our reactions. And one of the best things of that is a mirror. Other people have been our mirror. So for us to get to know ourselves, what we'd recognise in someone else, be it a quality that we liked about them and didn't believe we had in ourselves, or something that we didn't like about them. We can't recognise anything about anyone unless it's something that's in us. So if we're in denial about something, and DID is the biggest of denial going, when we get defensive or justify or really can't stand something in someone else, it's because it's something they're reminding us about, something in ourselves that we've suppressed, we're in denial about, and that we don't like in ourselves. But we have to wake up to this, be compassionate with ourselves, not judgmental with ourselves, because that's the only way then that we can change these behaviours. So for me to learn about myself, my internal world is, my processing language disorder makes us backwards and say can't instead of can, so we confuse people a lot. We're on our own now. We've a lot of people have left our life, or we've had to let people go through experiences that we're not going to get in. So it's literally been a very hermit style journey of us now transforming, using our yoga and tarot crystals, tools, manifesting with the moon water, eating healthy, our healthy supplements, lemon, honey and ginger, cider vinegar and honey and diatomaceous earth, lots of alternative good foods, etc. So here, now I've just given you a bit of background knowledge about us. So yeah, inside my model of processing, some people close their eyes and they see things. They see pictures or colours, or you hear stuff, voices or sounds. Now, put some soundproof headphones on, put a blindfold on and shove a ball in your mouth. Now, welcome to our internal world. That is how we function. It's pure darkness, and it's been exceptionally difficult attempting to get to know alternate personalities when you can't see them, hear them, or speak to them or communicate with them, which is what's different to what I've learned about other people with DID, because you can see very blatantly the differences in them. You can You can hear it in our voice when we talk. We've been meditating since 24/7, pretty much since the 11th of November 2019 now. And meditation is actually pretty dangerous and re-traumatizes people with DID or any kind of trauma, PTSD. So I don't advise it unless you've got a lot of knowledge and a lot of background awareness and a lot of body awareness, because otherwise it will put you into your past, it will put you into flashbacks, and it will re-trigger stuff. Now, we've been working, understanding, educating ourselves on the subconscious mind and on this for a very long time after we realised what was going on. So we've been put through a lot of potential unnecessary extra trauma. But we realised that our purpose is, because we are pure darkness inside, and we've had to really get to learn and understand the language of energy, which we're still massively learning and understand, so that we can get to know ourselves, so we can heal ourselves, because this will be our gift to the world, to show that vulnerability is not a weakness, that vulnerability, being strong and courageous in your vulnerability and sharing our story, is a very brave thing to do. And that is what we're stepping up to. And what we feel in our body and the way we're healing, it can't even really put it into words now, but we have to go through this process, which, to be honest, we used to be a perfectionist, and this is our first setup, and it's not the best. You can't really see what's going on, but it's not bad considering to other people's first setups that I've seen on YouTube. So it's been inspiring to see other people's, and being human is imperfection. So what came to us in meditation the other day was, let's learn together. So if you're someone that's been drawn to this, you've had your meditation to start with, you've heard the background knowledge of us, and there's something in you that's asking you to change and wanting to grow and step up into your potential and what you can be, so that you can live life with maximum output, minimum effort, in the flow and harmony of your internal rhythms, and in sync and in harmony and resonance with nature's rhythms, because that's then when the universe brings to us abundance. But we can't manifest and we can't claim this abundance until we are resonating in ourselves at a high frequency to be able to get this abundance. Now, I'm just going to have to stand up and have a little shake because I'm trembling. Oh, shaking medicine is the oldest and newest form of healing. Oh, we're so nervous, so nervous. Hold on. So yeah, we've had our little meditation to start with, and now we're going to go through this full moon that happened last night at 8:12 p.m. in the UK. The eclipse was at 8:23 p.m. It was a partial lunar eclipse. And we're going to go through the cards. So we've got number 16 here. Number 16 is actually the card number of rebirth. Hopefully we can see these okay. Beautiful cards. So the full moon brings us power. And you've got the full moon here, and the full moon is when we surrender to the divine, forgiveness. The energy has reached its climax. We've built up the intentions from the new moon, and they're coming into place. I'm just going to burn a little bit of sage and take a few deep breaths, because firstly what I'm going to do is the forgiveness poem came out of this beautiful diary that I've got, actually. Here we go. So the first thing that I'm going to do is read from Llewellyn's moon sign book, the Sagittarius moon. The Sagittarius moon's energy is masculine, dry, barren and fiery in Sagittarius, encouraging flights of imagination and confidence in the flow of life. Sagittarius is the most philosophical sign. Candour and honesty are enhanced when the moon is here. This is an excellent time to get things off your chest and to deal with institutions of higher learning, publishing companies and the law. It's also a good time for sport and adventure. Sagittarians are the crusaders of this world. This is a good time to tackle things that need improvement, but don't try to be the diplomat or influenced by this energy. Opinions can run strong, and the tendency to proselytize is increased. The ruling planet of Sagittarius is Jupiter, and that's abundance. So it's a very good, Sagittarius is one of the most psychic signs as well, and it's really, the impulse action is expansion, which is also like abundance. And in the body, you might have been having maybe some extra hip pain or thigh pain. Sagittarius is the ruler of the thighs and the hip. Now we're actually in Gemini season at the moment, and the Gemini moon rules the nervous system, the lungs, the arms, the hands, and the shoulders. And its ruler is Mercury, which is the planet of the mind and its versatility. So if you've also been having some hands and shoulders and arms aches or anything, then that will be why. So it's a really great energy, the Sagittarius and Gemini, for the body, because as long as you're nurturing yourself and taking rest when you need it, drinking plenty of water, getting good sleep, etc., your whole nervous system is having a reset, and your whole nervous system, your peripheral nervous system, which rules your limbs of action, your hands and your feet and your head, is then what keeps you strong and balances out your central nervous system, which is your emotional house. So it's a really good time to be working and being gentle, but the energies are strong. So if you've got any troubles in your thighs or hips or your arms, hands, shoulders, or any nervous system disorders, it's great to work with these energies because you'll get a lot more out of it. So doing meditations around those areas, you'll get a lot more healing in this time. And this is how we can work with yoga and work with the moon, with yoga and the body parts at the same time. So yeah, as I said, I'm learning with this too. We've got our astrology chart here as well, which we've printed off. So you've got here, this is the moon, this is Sagittarius. That's actually the South Node, and it's in House 1. So you can actually get these printed off for free online, and they're really informative. The first house is the body. So again, it's extra good because what I was just saying about the hands and the arms and the hips and the thighs, it's in the first house of the body as well. So therefore it's at its home in the body. And seeing as we're on these cards, you've got the House 1 is actually the home of Aries, because Aries is the first astrological sign in the chart, which is this phrase, I am. So we're keeping it simple. I'm just going to, so when you think of Aries, you can think of I am. Whereas Sagittarius, which is in the home of Aries, is the psychic sign of I see. So it's I am and I see. And Sagittarius is a fire element of desire and action and passion. So it's a fire element in the home of another fire element. So we've got two fire elements in the home of a fire element. So there's a lot of fire, a lot of action, a lot of passion. So in getting to know yourselves, here's 3 good questions, and you've got Mars, which is force. So there's definitely a lot of action and force going. So very good energies. If you find it hard to do anything, there's great energies to kind of build the willpower and get you started. And of course, the moon is the ruler of the soul. It's the feminine energies rather than the masculine energies. So we've got that balance between the feminine and the masculine. And if you've got the body parts of the hips and the thighs and the arms and the legs, which is your peripheral nervous system, but also the Gemini season of the central nervous system, you've got the balance between the two nervous systems. And you've got the fire element of the house that we're in, the fire element of Sagittarius, and the moon is, that's the water element, which is, where is it? Typical, lost that card. Oh no, it's here. The moon is a water element, so you've got fire and water together. And Sagittarius is a very psychic sign, getting in touch with your intuition to know yourself. And the water is all about sensing, which is like your extra sensory skills, your subtle senses, the subtle energetic body. So when people talk about the light body, it's the electromagnetic field in scientific terms. We like to call it the rainbow electromagnetic field. And we've been doing our origami rainbow hearts here to help our hands and get our hands functioning again. So there's a very good balance between the nervous system, because the electromagnetic field, the light body, the nervous system is the physical matter light body of the body, and then it will go out into the light body of the auric field or the electromagnetic field. So there's very good energies for balance. And because we're in Gemini season and we've just come from the Gemini new moon of communications as well, and we've got Venus in retrograde. So it's all about, retrograde means when you have to, it forces you to look in on yourself more. So if we're not wanting to do these things, we get kind of nudged extra hard to actually have to do these things for some reason. Maybe an argument with a close friend, or some kind of relationship with someone's taken place, or yeah. So we're going to read onto the books now. And this might inspire you to get your own pack of cards, and pull a card out for you to help you, because we don't know what's going on for ourselves. So this is what gives us the tools, and it's so much fun as well. So you're getting in touch with your inner children. And one of the main things about life is to have fun and remember to play, and to manifest and create abundance. We need to take it from a child's mentality, a child's point of view, which is the world is limitless, not limiting. And the Sagittarius full moon energies again, letting go of those limiting belief systems. So we've got the full moon, surrender to the divine power, bring the power back into ourselves. I'm going to read those sections from the book. I will do the full moon power one first. So that's number 16. 16 is actually made up of New Beginnings 1 and 6 Unconditional Love, which 16 is a rebirth number. It's a number for rebirth, and together they equal 7, which is the number of self-growth. The power. Step into your true power. Shine brightly. Do not hide who and what you are. The time is right to attract big things for yourself. Ancestral energy is important. Open your mind to larger possibilities. Big magic can be wrought. I have power. It is real. Go outside on a clear night and look up. Hopefully you'll see the stars are twinkling. If you are really lucky, you might see the swirling Milky Way spilling across the darkness. And then, there she is, the big full moon, unmistakable in her glory and power. She moves the earth itself, stabilizes it into orbit. She realizes and pulls the seas. She releases and pulls the seas. She is the object of devotion, the inspiration of poems, the realm of goddesses, and she has witnessed the very first of us rise up on 2 legs and venerate her. Generation after generation, we have stood barefoot under the same moon, wishing, setting intentions, dancing and drawing her graceful power. You are made of the very swirling matter that the stuff of stars is made of. You are pure possibility, changing constantly, renewing and transforming. Take this moment to recognize that power and rejoice in it, for your next step is the precursor to your future self. And the gem, one of the gems, is Moonstone. So then we'll read Surrender to the Divine Full Moon in the other book. The very word climax brings all sorts of ideas and images to mind. Agreed? But it really is the feeling of this card. Life is coming to a head, a point, a conclusion or a turning point. There may be some kind of change and possibly even some sort of emotional explosion. Tune into your emotions now and see what they are telling you. They're very likely close to the surface, no matter when in the moon cycle you've pulled this card. Matters will soon conclude, and you'll find out whether or not your wishes are going to come true. The odds are in your favour, as this is a positive card, but you may need to work harder than usual to keep cool as events unfold. Attune to the moon. I am getting the answers I need. Additional meanings of this card. A wish you made may be about to come true. It's make or break time. There could be a sense of madness in the air. Breathe deep and stay calm. You may need to forgive someone to release negative energy. It's time to let go of the past and move on. So a lot of the stuff that's said in these, you'll notice that will come up in the other cards too. And the reason I've got a few packs is to show you we've all got our own truth, but we don't necessarily know what our truth is, and that's why we need to get to know ourselves. But a lot of the things that we find hard in the outside world is who is telling the truth, what government is telling the truth, what company, what system is telling the truth. And we can't actually know who is telling the truth until we know our own truth, because when we know our own truth, we'll feel that resonance of what is true coming from the outside then. And that's the importance of getting to know our own truth. And we all have our own perspective, but it's about expanding and opening our mind by understanding that you've got the collective truth, but then everyone has their own individual truth. And we need to understand, which is why I explained about my ailments, my so-called labels and disorders, which we see the positives to now, and eventually we'll be able to share that in better words as all of whatever Shinto self-empowerment comes together to be eventually. We're not questioning how, we're just having it unfold like this because we need this physical experience to learn and grow. So this is us putting it out there. We then watch it back so it goes so that we can connect the neurological pathways in our head, connect the alternate personalities. It's the constructive feedback loop of information out of the senses and then in the senses and then out of the senses, because it's repetition, practice. That's how we reprogram our subconscious mind. And our subconscious mind is our right hemisphere brain. It controls our body, and it's 95% of us, and it's the now. Our left hemisphere brain is the past and the future, and there's way too much anxiety and worry, which is all past and future stuff, but it's what enables us to function in reality. So in understanding the same card from two different packs of cards from two different people that created the cards, you're getting two perspectives and two types of wordings. So this is expanding our mind and opening our mind to different ways of doing things. So I'm putting a new scope that I've not seen before on oracle card reading, tarot card reading. We're going to start doing the Learn It Together tarot card reading as well, where we'll pick a tarot card for the day. And we'll do that a few times a week, and then we'll read it out in the tarot book, and we'll read it out. We've got a few different packs of tarot, and we'll read it. So we'll read the Flower Fairy Tarot, we'll read the Osho Zen Tarot, we'll read the Book of Catch Tarot and the Indian Tarot, so that you've got different cultures, different kind of religions or belief systems, and different people's perspectives then on the same card and the same number. And this is the interconnectedness of energy and how things overlap and how everything is connected. The teaching. The full moon marks the climax of the lunar cycle. And just one more thing, and this is us getting maximum output, minimum effort. So there's parts of us that won't do stuff for ourselves, but they'll do stuff for other people. So in doing this, it's sneaky because we're getting to do stuff for ourselves that we need, but putting it out there for other people to learn and grow and be inspired at the same time. Because having gone on the benefit system has been one of the most horrific journeys for us. It's really sent us into our victim, and it's been incredibly difficult to get out of that victim and see a way forward where we can be self-sufficient again and produce something which will bring in an income so that we can be financially sound and secure on our own again and not rely on someone else. And this is where it's starting for us. Not that this is to earn an income, but this is us practicing and developing and growing while we're on benefits, so that eventually it can all grow and learn together and unfold as it's meant to, utilising the energies. And you can see our live reality healing, transforming process as well, which is always amazing to see. The teaching. The full moon marks the climax of the lunar cycle, making this card something of a power card. The full moon is often the time when answers are given to questions asked during the new moon. And pulling this card at any time in your lunar cycle suggests answers will be coming your way before too long. So that's how, this is the cards that were pulled out for the energies at this time. But if you were to use these cards and the pack of cards on their own, you would just take the cards, cleanse the energies by like giving it a pat a few times or however, shuffle them and then pull a card. So you might get a full moon card come out and it's not on the full moon. It'll be any time of the month cycle, but it's those energies that you are needing to know at that moment as guidance to yourself. So while we're here, it's a full moon and it's in, look at that, it's beautiful. Look at the bigger picture, full moon in Sagittarius. So I'll just read that one out to you there. And to make it easier, I'm just going to stick and read this bottom row out first while we're in the book, because otherwise it's going to be going back and forth and it might end up being ages, and we don't want it to be too long. So the full moon in Sagittarius, look at the bigger picture. Are you thinking too much about the details of your dilemma? Fretting over minutiae can be counterproductive, or perhaps you're being all talk and no action. This card is a reminder that while it's good to think things through, sometimes you need to step back and look at the bigger picture. What do you then see about your current situation? What's the most positive thought that you can have about it? Now is the time to count your blessings, even if you don't yet have exactly what you want. This card is also a reminder that we often have to take a few risks and go with uncertainty on this journey called life. Try to keep an open mind about what's for the best. The universe could surprise you. Attune to the moon. Take time out for a mini break or adventure. Additional meanings of this card. This situation may have come around because you've been distracted. Be confident without being overconfident to win the day. Have you shown that you care? If not, now is the time. Find a balance between speaking your mind and saying too much. The teaching. The full moon in Sagittarius is a time when we are reminded that life is an adventure and there's a big wide world to see beyond our backyard. It's about having fun and being prepared to sail into uncharted territory. It's about big ideas versus the details. No matter when you draw this card, it encourages you to look at the bigger picture rather than the finer details. Now, Sagittarius is a mutable moon, because Sagittarius is a mutable sign. So nothing yet is set in stone. So it's about how we proceed to do things and our actions then to actually show that we really want to change and really want whatever it is that we've kind of put the intentions out for the previous new moon. 108. Nothing is yet set in stone. Mutable is all about change, shape-shifting, even that something is still developing. This card indicates that something is indeed changing and there's room for manoeuvre. So take it as a sign that the situation you're asking about is far from finalised. If you're not happy with the current state of play, that's marvellous. It means you can still change the course of the outcome. However, there is also a sense that the situation could perhaps be a little unstable. For some, this is a great news because you can still influence it. Others will struggle with the uncertainty, but should stay with it a little longer. Either way, nothing is set in stone yet. attuned to the moon. I know that the best will unfold for me. So attuned to the moon is kind of like a little mantra, an affirmation you can say to yourself. I know that the best will unfold for me. I know that the best will unfold for me. And you can say it looking in the mirror as well. And then you can see your facial expressions and your reactions to whether you truly believe that or not. They're called micro expressions, they are. Additional meanings for this card. You're meandering towards your goal, and that's okay. Staying adaptable is the key to success for you now. Make sure you're not being led astray. Have you become distracted? Time to focus. Stay with it, whatever it means to you. The teaching. In astrology, there are 3 so-called quadruplicities: cardinal, fixed, and mutable. The mutable signs are Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces. And when the moon is in, so basically Gemini and Sagittarius, so you've got the Gemini season, so it's all about change at the moment. And we've got the eclipse, so it's basically time to change, guys. And when the moon is in one of these signs, you know there's going to be more flexibility in a situation. Anytime you pull this card, it suggests there's the opportunity to keep visualizing and affirming what you want, as there's still room for change. There's heaps of room for change at the moment. Get changing. So think about what you want and enjoy the daydream. So yeah, all about change at the moment, guys. I'm going to go into this one next, because today you've got something called the void of course moon. Now, in the void of course moon, it's meant to be that you don't make decisions. It's from when you're changing from, let's say, Sagittarius into Capricorn. Just before Sagittarius, the moon changes from Sagittarius into Capricorn, there's a period of time where it's not actually in any sign at all. And that's called the void of course sign. And it's not a time to make decisions, but it's a great time to meditate. It's a great time for self-reflection, for being creative, for doing anything, body work, dancing, meditating. I don't know if I said that. So we did this today because it's been in void of course from something like 5 o'clock this morning until 8:30 this evening. I can't remember the time now, but it's before 8 o'clock. It's about 6:30 ish now in the evening. So we wanted to tap into our Sagittarius as well. On our natal chart is Neptune, which is the most spiritual of the planets too. So we wanted to tap into our psychic abilities, utilising the best time for the energies to get a maximum output, to really feel the energies and understand them and see the synchronicities, because it's only then when we have those experiences that we can then reflect and have hindsight to really go, oh yeah, and there's that synchronicity, and oh yeah, and there's that, and then there's that, and it all really kind of overlaps. And that's how we grow and learn. So I'm just going to read that to you at the moment. Even though the full moon was yesterday, the full moon energies are there for like 3 days, 3.5 days, 4 days. So it's these next few days that they come into play. And then you've got the phases of the moon. And the moon, rather than getting bigger now, the energies then are starting to wind down. So nothing will come of this situation, void of course moon. In a form of astrology known as horary, where an astrological chart is cast according to when the question is asked and decoded, a void of course moon means nothing will come of this matter, or this situation will bear no fruit. This may or may not be good news, depending on when you are asking. For example, if you are worried about something, whatever it was, this card can be taken as a sign that there is nothing to worry about. However, if you are asking about a new project of any kind, including a new relationship, it's a sign to adjust your expectations or change things so you get a different outcome. We've suddenly gone really cold and got goosebumps coming, which is one of the signals to being in tune with the energies. Having just talked about understanding our intuition and getting to know the energies, so that's really interesting. It's a sign to adjust your expectations or change things so you get a different outcome. Remember, the cards can only predict what you are currently creating, and you can change that with both your behaviour and your beliefs. Attuned to the moon. I trust in my highest good. Additional meaning for this card. The chances of something are diminishing. Something better may be around the corner. Believe that you will get what you need. Surrender to the divine. Take time out. Meditate and contemplate. The teaching. The main definition of a void of course moon is when the moon won't make a major connection with any of the planets, and until she enters the next sign. The best thing you can do when you get this card is to chant the Sanskrit word Om Namo Narayani. 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 Bit of spell name there. We like our chanting, which means I surrender to the divine. A void of course moon is time to just be. But sometimes that's what we're learning. We're learning to just be, and that's actually what we thought Shinto meant. Shinto we thought meant just be, but when because we named our Facebook page that, and that's what we've used as our name for our business as well. And Shinto self-empowerment is what we use for the title of all our altars working together in harmony. And it's all your Japanese Shintoism, your Japanese nature spirits and all of that. So it's beautiful. We did love it. Now on the astrology chart, it's when things are in conjunct, it means the energies are working well together. So on here, if you go back to the astrology chart, if you fancy getting one, you've got this little symbol here. And that's the south node. So you've got your south node and your north node. And they basically, they're not anything real as in matter, but they're the pathway that so you've got these lines here, the pathway of the moon and the pathway of the sun, that's where they cross basically. And you have your north node and your south node. The north node is the direction that you're going to, what some might call, I don't know if it's destiny or fate. We get better on our language for that first. But your south node is your past debts, basically, your karma. So don't let your past hold you back. So because it's in conjunct, working on you'll be subconscious energies just working on our past karmic debts at the moment, because it's the beautiful, powerful time to let go of everything and release the karma, so that we can be healed and have all the tubular body that we live in clear like a hose, so that the energy, the water, can flow through it, and we can step up into our full potential. So right at the end, 114. Don't let your past hold you back, because until we become aware of ourselves, self-aware, our past does define us, because we're living in the programming of our subconscious mind, which is the programming that got programmed into us when we were kids. So it's not until we realise we're an adult and we don't have to be doing things the way that we have always done them, and that's becoming self-aware. So the past defines you until you become self-aware in the present, and then what your actions and words, what you say and do in the present, is then what creates your future. The south node, like the north node, is a karmic point, but it's opposite to the north node and relates to the past, perhaps even to past lives. Whatever you're going through and whatever you're asking about, there's a chance that old age programming and conditioning is stopping you from achieving all that you might. Do you feel stuck in something? This card will often come as a sign that the situation or relationship you're asking about has somehow become suffocating, even toxic. It suggests that someone, you even, needs to be released, that there's some kind of addiction going on or an unhealthy attachment that needs to be sorted out. One thing is for sure, when you get this card, you're being challenged to make some changes, even if staying where you are feels easier and safer. The only constant is change, guys. So if you're resisting change, you're just going to make life a whole lot harder for yourselves. Attune to the moon. I release the past. I release the past. I release the past. Additional meanings for this card. A relationship is karmic and has played out across many lifetimes. Your attraction to someone may be verging on the obsessive. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. The teaching. The south node is where the moon crosses the ecliptic, going south. On the horoscope chart, it shows us what we are likely to become obsessed with, but which will probably do us little or no good. The South Node is the karmic astrological point that reminds us of the well-known phrase, if you always do what you've always done, you always get what you've always got. I've not heard that one before, but I've heard one similar. So when we do start doing the card readings and we build up a confidence, because it did take us all day to do this, but it's good. We had to do some tidying in the kitchen, and we had to do some bit of tidying in the lounge, which is where we're doing this. And we've done our Spirit Mysteries meditation from our Spirit Science 7-day transformation thing, which we're doing. We finished our 44-day Soul Shine meditation group on Thursday, but we're still doing those meditations every day again, so we've done both of them. We are with Lunar Living, we'll put the links down below for that, but with Lunar Living, so we've done the Sagittarius moon meditation too. We've also done our chakra dance meditation, but we do our chakra dance, not dancing, because of we're really sore in our physical body at the moment. Sometimes we have a dance, but we haven't been able to much lately, and we had to do floor dances normally. Or one of the altars takes over, and then we just like hurt ourselves again or something. So that's why we've all got to work together, because this body can't take much more. But it's getting stronger and doing a lot better. I think when we went on the medication, we put on 6 stone, and we've lost all that again now, which is great. So when we do the card readings, rather than how they do card readings that we've seen most of the time, although they do talk about this as well, our card readings are going to be literally focused on ourselves and our internal worlds and what it is about us that it could be that we're mirroring someone else's energy, but we couldn't mirror someone else's energy unless that energy was in us in the first place. So just thinking, oh, well, that's theirs and we're just mirroring it, is then still blaming them and putting it external. Whereas if we go with David Eagleman from the BBC Brain documentaries and everything is an illusion, and that's how it scientifically works on the brain, then actually everything is internal. We're the main character of our stories, and everyone else is just playing a role to fulfill for us to get to know ourselves. And the mirror isn't actually about them, the mirror is about us. And we'll get onto this card in a minute. But self-reflection, the mirror. What do we need to see about ourselves that we don't know? And that's where the other comes into play, because the other is what shows us stuff about ourselves. And kids are the best reflection. But it's actually, it's an eclipse as well, we were saying at the moment. So conclusions are within reach. We're coming to the end of a chapter. It is going to be a long reading, so you may not watch it all. It may be that you have to watch it in a few goes. But this is, as I said, one of the things I've learned, and because it's all about an internal self-awareness thing, that anything that anyone says or does is, number one, their subconscious attempting to get a message across to them, and they're not listening to their body, they can't hear it, so they produce an external situation, for instance, like giving advice to someone else, but really, first of all, that advice is meant for you to listen to and apply. Then it's about the other, then it's about Mother Gaia and collective consciousness, because it's the 100 monkey effect. Once a monkey learns to crack a coconut open with a stone, once you've got 100 monkeys that have learned to crack a coconut open with a stone, no more need to learn again. It's just in the collective consciousness, and collective consciousness is your central nervous system, your emotional house, your right brain hemisphere. So yeah, this will be, and us watching this back, it will all become clearer again each time what it is actually that's coming, unfolding, manifesting what our subconscious is creating. So we're looking for the full moon eclipse, which is 96, and I'm quite impressed actually how much we know that's coming out. I thought it would just be book reading, so it's probably why it's taking longer, because it's not just book reading. Conclusions are within reach. Full moon eclipse. Full moon eclipse, and just like that, a door slams shut. If you've pulled this card, it suggests that the situation you're asking about is about to reach a peak, or has just done so, and things are now out of your hands. What you're experiencing now is what your soul signed up for, a way for you to learn and for your soul to evolve. So allow events to unfold and be easy on yourself. If you're letting go of someone or something, know that it's the right time, as hard as it might be. Forgiving someone for what they did could be key to resolving the situation in a positive way. It doesn't make right what they did, but it releases it so that you can move on. Attune to the moon. That which is meant for me will not pass me by. Additional meanings for this card. Doors which slam shut now will not reopen. It's time for you to get back on track. Forgiveness will set you free of karma. Meditation, pranayama being rhythmic breath control, and yoga nidra are all recommended now. Seed control and let events unfold. The teaching. So within the eclipse and the void of course moon today, if you have been brought to this and you're watching this evening, because we'll do it on a premiere so I can watch it back too, it's a perfect time for all the energies, because in you watching this is you're in meditation. We did a meditation at the start. You're tapped into your body, you're tapped into subconscious. You may be reacting to some of this, you may be getting emotional, or you may just be absorbing and learning. But whatever, all of this is going in. It's better to even just feel it and look at the pictures more than trying to take on the information so much in your conscious mind, because it's your subconscious that holds the power. The teaching. Full moons are nearly always about climaxes and very often about conclusions. Full moon eclipses are the same, but on steroids. A full moon eclipse can be hard to handle because it portends change, something many of us are uncomfortable with. But change is a part of life, and this card, no matter when you pull it, reminds you of that fact. Full moon eclipses can also give us a glimpse into the Carl Jung called the shadow self. Work with your darkness. And we have just come from the last full moon. It's time to release negativity is the one for the shadow self. And that's the I transform, because you are transforming as soon as you delve into the deep depths of your psyche and do shadow work. And another name for that is the blossoming, flowering moon, which is actually 33 communication, which links into the new moon now. And while we're here, I won't read these two out because it'll take too long, but the next full moon is actually going to be, finally, yes please, the end of a tough cycle approaches, and it's the full moon in Capricorn. So that'd be, if we're in the start of June now, that would be the start of July. And the Capricorn sign is I use. So you're using all this knowledge now here to take with you to bring the thunder moon of change. And just while we're up here again, because I haven't shown these cards, you've got the lunar eclipse again in these cards, which is change. The numbers speak to us as well, we're not going to do that. And the South Node, and that's how we're talking about life steps. South Node. And then over here, the eclipse is with opposite the sun, and the sun is our spirit, the masculine energy, whereas I showed you the moon was the soul, the feminine energy. And it's in Gemini, I think, the mind, an air sign. And we did just have a little story underneath those two, because Gemini is an air sign, the air element, communicating, because we are all made up of the same things. Everything in earth, nature, we're made of stardust, we're made of earth, fire, wind and water. And if you get into polarity therapy or the Chinese medicine, or the Indian, we've got all those elements in our body. So the tubes and the channels where the energy travels down, like water and rain, is the water element. Wind or air is created by the lungs, and it's a spiring element. Fire goes up, obviously, and then you've got earth, which is the strong, solid like mountain. We're still learning all of this ourselves. But this is in the first house, and the house opposite to the first house of the body is the seventh house, the other, partners. And we've done the sun and the thingy. We've also got it retrograde Venus. The love language is retrograde. Finances, passion, love language, how we value ourselves, possessions, and that's in retrograde. And that is an earth element, which is stability. So all these energies are working together. So we've got earth, water, and we've got the sun and the moon and Sagittarius. So we've got fire and water, Gemini, the air, and the Venus there. So we've got all the, and it's even with, so this is change and abundance with the planet of Jupiter ruling Sagittarius, and we're even conjunct part of fortune, which is increase. So it's a very good time for the Gemini new moon. It's a very good time for manifesting. If we were wanting to bring anything into your, we brought in the air communicating, didn't we? Oh, yes, I did. So now I'm just going to read these cards here. We've got the full moon, which I've read. Another name for the Sagittarius, the strawberry moon's one name, but you've also got the hot moon extremes. So that's the first one we're going to read. Hot moon extremes. And that's number 34, which is part of the golden ratio, 21/34. Hot moon extremes. And plus 34 is the 3 creativity, feminine energies, 4 masculine energies, the number for Mother Gaia, stability, strength, together being 7, self-growth. Extremes. Learn how to handle crisis with calm and resilience. Seeking balance is superior to seeking extremes. There are better ways to handle conflict than rage and outrage. There may be someone who seeks to disrupt your business or life in some way. This too shall pass. And a little saying here for you. I handle extremes with grace, yet I seek balance in all things. I handle extremes with grace, yet I seek balance in all things. I handle extremes with grace, yet I seek balance in all things. We should say every time we read them, if you want to read them out with us, so, and put your hand on your heart as you're doing it, just to like program it into your body. Most of us have experienced extremes of weather, boiling hot days or the freezing of snow and ice. You certainly know you are alive because the sensation can be so overwhelming or stressful on the body. The hot moon appeared in the hottest time of the year when the days were longest and the rains less frequent. Similarly, we can experience extremes in life, deaths, job losses, relationship breakdowns, true fears, big conflicts, booms and busts, and yet this is life. Our situation can change quickly for better or worse. The hot moon challenges us to build our resilience and reserves of wisdom and calm for those times where things are at their extreme. It reminds us that developing grace under pressure is worth its weight in gold, and that even these extremes in time will pass. And the companion stone or metal that this book recommends is the sunstone. So it's a Sagittarius, like we were saying. Sagittarius is a mutable moon. Sagittarius is a mutable sign, so it's a mutable moon, and it's a masculine energy. Sorry about the glare. We eventually are going to have this all, you know, we've got to go from complicated to simple and then we'll go back up again. But yeah, I can't wait to get creative and do all the setups, but obviously we are going to wait. And that's number 42. That's made up of 4 again. The Mother Gaia, a masculine number, and 2 with balance, patience, and together equals 6, which is harmony. And today is actually the 6th of the 6th, 2020, so it's 664, and we live at number 66, and 66 is the number of healing, which together is 12, complex stability. So we're opening up the 66 portal later on. We haven't done it yet today, but from the 6th of June through to the 24th of June, you've got the opening of the 66 portal and then the closing of the 66 portal. So 66 is a double dose of harmony, a double dose of unconditional love, and 66 is the number for healing, basically. So we're opening up those portals in our body through meditations and candles, which we have been doing because we started this 24/7 meditation on the 11th of the 11th, 2019, opening up the 1111 portal, and we've been going on since then, basically. 5's the number of change, so we're just getting out of that one, thankfully. So also at the midpoint, you've got the 15th of June. So 15th of June is the midway point between the opening and the closing. And that's when we do our 3 main meditations, and then we do other stuff relating around the vibration and the number of 6 and harmony and unconditional love. And because it's 66 of healing, so real conscious awareness into what we're doing as much as we can with each altar. Hopefully it will all become, I don't know what it will all become. Yes, okay, sorry, we don't go into certain things because it gets stressful and there we go. 42, lunar god, the masculine. It is time to step forward and lead. Be the leader in your own life. You have more power than you think. It is time to formally learn more. Enroll in a course or learn a new skill. Offer your protection to someone weaker than yourself. Take steps to improve your health and vitality. So everything that I was saying there is really fitting. So this is really good because everything that I say then fits in with the card and what we're reading, which is fab, because this is really giving us confidence. And it's let's learn together. So you are doing exactly what this card says. So everyone give ourselves a clap and a pat on the back. Well done. Awesomeness. So if you want to put your hand on your heart, so we learned from before, and a hand on the belly, close your eyes and say it with us, after us. May the positive attributes of the masculine align with me. May the positive attributes of the masculine align with us. May the positive attributes of the masculine align with us. May the positive attributes of the masculine align with you. May the positive attributes of the masculine align with me. So when I say us, it refers to the host body and whoever's talking at the moment, but all of the alternate personalities. But I love it because when we talk in that sense, it's like we're including you as well, because we are the person that's doing the reading. It's coming from their perspective. They're doing a reading that needs to be said to them first, not just to the person they're doing the reading for. But a lot of the readers don't understand that, I don't think, but that is our unique perspective through the experiences that we've gone through, and what we're going to eventually be able to share in the numerous ways that we share it eventually in the future. Things are becoming so much clearer. It was so complicated before. And it's nice to include you all in as well, isn't it? It's nice to say we instead of you or I. It's all of us together. So while lunar gods are rare, usually their realms are the solar. They are conspicuous when they appear. The Australian Aboriginal deity of the Whanararu tribal area, Bayami, encourages us to observe the laws of the land and to appreciate the beauty around us. Bayami is depicted with having big eyes and no mouth, teaching us that sometimes beauty does not need to be spoken about, just witnessed with the eyes of our head and of our heart. The Norse god Mani, the moon himself, teaches us to be wise and about the passage of time. The Mesopotamian sin shows us how to ask about the future and how important it is to protect the weak. There are many more. The traditional positive attributes of the masculine, such as strength, physical vitality, power of will, shielding and protection of the weak, are important for anyone to adopt, no matter their gender or orientation. Should you pull this card, it is asking you to step up into your power, your uniqueness, and offer your guidance to those who may need it. That's really interesting that was talking about Australia there, because the companion moonstone, the companion stone or metal to go with this, sorry about the vibrations, is opal, black opal. Now I don't have any black opal, but I've got this bit of opal here, which is from Cooper Pedy, which is between Uluru, Ayers Rock, the centre of Australia, and Adelaide, South Australia, in the centre. So that was really interesting there. Those are the connections I made. So this is how intuition works, I'm guessing then, isn't it? Yeah! Oh, thanks for answering that little one. So I'm now going to read The Void of Course, number 1. Again, the time to self-nurture and rest, similar to the, if you can, but you can't really do all these things. The dark moon. But it's the void. Oh, is there void? Maybe I've got the wrong one out then. I think I've got the wrong one out, yeah. I thought that was a void of course moon, but it's not. So yeah, ignore this one. We've brought out a wrong card there. I thought that was a void of course moon. We do have this void of course in the other pack, which is missing. That's good. It means there's less to read. So we're going to go on to these two. So basically the full moon was yesterday. You have your moon phases. So you've got your full, your new dark moon, which is that one, your new moon. Then you've got your kind of your crescent, your first quarter, your full, your half moon, your full moon, then back to half moon again, or something like that. I can't do it off the top of my head, but basically this card does one for each day. So this is the card 17. For today. And then tomorrow, which is self-reflection, it's the waning gibbous 1. Tomorrow, with this deck, you've got 18, the waning gibbous 2. Look at all that energy coming out of her throat chakra there. Amazing. So that's the waning gibbous 2, pleasure. So today is about self-reflection, which is perfect what we're doing now. So we are aligned with the energies because we're doing this, and this is our tools, our guides, and it's helping you as well as helping us. So it's maximum output, minimum effort. And this is our beautiful selenite wand that we got here. And tomorrow is the waning gibbous 2 of pleasure. So here we go, we'll read these two and then we'll be close to the end. 17 and 18. Waning gibbous 1, self-reflection. Be curious about your own nature. Choose to turn inwards to quietly contemplate who and what you are and want. The more you know about yourself, the more you are able to steer yourself well. Know what you believe and why, yet be open to the development of new beliefs and ways of being. So put your hand on your heart and your hand on your belly and close your eyes and say as we say it, or after, however, in your head out loud. And I'm going to do the plural again. You can say I am if you prefer. We are not afraid to look deeply at ourselves in all aspects. We are not afraid to look deeply at ourselves in all aspects. We are not afraid to look deeply at ourselves in all aspects. You are not afraid to look deeply at yourself in all aspects. I am not afraid to look deeply at myself in all aspects. We do it 5 times there, I've just noticed, which is really good because 5 is the number of change in the numerology cards. So, both scientists and spiritual practitioners believe there is much benefit to be had in self-reflection. The process involves us thinking about what is happening, how we react, and make sense of it. It exposes our strengths and weaknesses and gives us information to make changes if we choose to. It gives us a small respite in the busyness of life and allows our brain to make some sense of the chaos we experience each day. As self-reflection is something we all would benefit from doing, why don't we do it? First, self-reflection requires us to slow down somewhat and turn our awareness inward, something that does not come naturally to some, and especially not the highly extroverted. Starting small and maybe getting assistance with someone else as a guide can solve this. Second, some people are not sure exactly how to self-reflect, and so do not try. To change this, examine the various ways to self-reflect during a regular 5-minute recap of the day as you commute home or before dinner. So you can do that for your day today, actually, because this is today's card. After this, you can do some self-reflection. Sit quietly and think about all that has happened and your reactions to it on this moon, every moon cycle. Record how you feel each day. There are many ways to self-reflect, and one will suit you. Third, some people self-reflect, but when they do, they don't like the feelings of vulnerability, anger, guilt, or even defensiveness this incurs. Why go there when it isn't pleasant? Because you need the dark with the light. If you're in the light too much, you'll burn. You need the shadow and the shade to cool down. Just like if you're in the shadow and the shade, you get too cold and you need the sun to warm up. The fun shadow dance of life. Here is where we grow our self-responsibility. Short-term pain will certainly be worth long-term gain if we do not ignore the elephant in the room. It's an attitude of gratitude, an attitude of gratitude, a gratitude of attitude. A regular practice of self-reflection allows us to intercede before problems get too big. We can, for example, catch ourselves before something gets way out of hand. We can apologise and make amends to someone for our mistake. We can catch negative patterns and stop them in their tracks. The theme of waning gibbous moons, of which this is the first, is the process of self-reflection and building resilience. And the companion stone or metal is tiger's eye. So we've got 2 here. Oops, there we go. So I'd say the next one's more important, but we've got the yellow gold tiger's eye there. And then this one I love because it's got some hematite, which is very grounding on the bottom. But it's your red tiger's eye. I did have some blue tiger's eye, which is amazing. Only one piece of it, and I gave it to a friend. An old friend. We don't have any friends anymore. Shh. We're journeying on our own. So there we go. So tomorrow is the Waning Givers 2, and it's pleasure, remember? So I'm reading you some insights that you can put into play for your relaxing Sunday session. Pleasure. Take some time out for yourself, my beautiful people. That's what Shinto self-empowerment says. Start in loving ourselves. And then we can love others purely and unconditionally and give compassion and assistance and help how they need, because we know what they need, because we're so in tune with our own body and our own intuition and not in denial about the stuff in ourselves. Pleasure. Are you taking life too intensively or too seriously? The time has come to call in the pleasures of life. Seek light-heartedness at this time. Focus on what would make you happy. Schedule in activities you find pleasurable. And I'm just going to butt in again there, because what's come to us just then is, if you're not someone that's wanting to change, but you don't like what's going on out in the world and you want society and the government to change, then we have to start the Gandhi quantum ripple effect. And as Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. So you have to change yourself for others' reactions to you to change. And also, maybe you come at it from a perspective of wanting nature and the environment to grow and heal more, and stop all the environmental harm that's going on. And this is great, because basically, with everything that's gone on, Mother Gaia, Pachamama, planet Earth is waking up. And when Mother Gaia wakes up, humanity has a chance to heal. Collective consciousness has a chance to heal. And when humanity, collective consciousness heals, they wake up. And when humanity wakes up, Mother Gaia, Pachamama, planet Earth can heal. So yeah, if you're not doing it for yourself or the people around you or society, then do it for our beautiful planet and for nature. So put your hand on your heart with that in your mind and say, I open myself to the pleasures of life. We open ourselves to the pleasures of life. You open yourself to the pleasures of life. We open ourselves to the pleasures of life. I open myself to the pleasures of life. Buzzing, sighing, shaking releases lots of those lower vibrational frequencies and energy. So if you are feeling any of those not nice, pleasant emotions of anger, guilt or shame or anything come up, then stamp your feet, like become a 2-year-old toddler again, stamp your feet, have a scream or have a, make sounds with your noise, use your body, use your sound, tap into the natural innate healing qualities that the human body offers us. In our search for a better life, something happened along the way. We forgot how to find real pleasure in what we do rather than just being diverted from the everyday. Life can be overwhelming, and our rational minds seem to need every available minute of our time to be able to cope with its demands. Pleasure has taken the back seat, or there is a pattern of it now forming destructive tendencies, such as binge drinking rather than simply having a wine or two with friends. A big part of pleasure is letting go. This does not mean surrendering or giving up. It simply means handing over of all of our administration, stress and worries for a time and immersing ourselves in something joyful. When we don't allow ourselves to experience pleasure, whether in the form of laughter, play, sensuality, or the development of skills, we remain less than whole and feel a wanting. No fun actually makes us dull indeed. Over time, we are much less effective in our emotional work lives if we do not experience regular doses of pleasure. Our ancient ancestors knew the importance of pleasure in the forming of a healthy mind, body and spirit. There were gods and goddesses dedicated to happiness and the pleasures of life, such as the Egyptian goddess Hathor. The temples of Hathor were joyful places full of songs and beauty. There were even small temples placed in her honour outside other major deities. Temples are so that people could be in a happy and contented mental mood before entering to worship. The Egyptians clearly believed that having a positive or relaxed state of mind assisted in having a positive spiritual connection. And the companion stone or metal for this is turquoise. There used to be a turquoise stone in my ring, but it fell off, and we don't have any turquoise around here at the moment. So yeah, that's the cards. I'm just gonna, to end it with, actually pull a pack. So I'm not going to do any more out loud reading, but I'm just going to pull, because we're opening up the 6/6 portal, we're going to give 6 cards that are just for today's energies, basically, without reading the book. We're going to have the Angel and Ancestors Oracle cards, which is going to give us a message. We're going to have the Caroline Miss Archetype cards, which is going to give us a message. We're going to have the Earth Magic, just give us a very quick message. This is us acting on intuition in the moment now. I got given these beautiful cards by my soul sister. So we're going to have the Soul Journey Mandala cards give us a quick message. And we're going to have the numerology guidance cards, because we love the numbers, give us a message. And we're covering lots of different perspectives here. Then we've got number, colour, archetypes, energies from earth, energies from above. And the first card we're going to pull one with, because we're on this theme, is the Zodiac Oracle. So this has got elements, planets, and the zodiacs. So I just tap them 3 times like that, and then you're just going to give them a shuffle. So I don't know if they're going to chuck one out for us. I'm going to shuffle a bit like this too, because I'm pretty sore at the moment. I've not been we're not at a good angle. We've really got to set this up differently next time. But at least now we know what we're starting with and what to do and what not, because the last time we've done any of these, we've been very dissociated indeed, and we're becoming a lot more co-conscious. So energies, universe, spirit, can you give us a card that's for the highest good and benefit for everyone watching this, please? And of course us. Someone's just knocked at the door, but I can't answer it. I'm not going to leave this mid thingy. So here we go. We're just going to pick one. Let's just get a little bit more of a shuffle. You're not going to give us one. Pick one. Here we go. Look at that. We've got the Sun, number 13. The energies of the Sun. Action. Quite cool cards, aren't they? Here's the first card. And then the second one. Oh, look, we've got one straight away there. Video. Oh, it's pastel, isn't it? Yeah. Sorry, forgot about that. Do you mind just putting it on there? Sorry. Wow, the time's passed quickly. I think my Tesco delivery shop's early. That's not meant to come until later. It's given us 2. I'm not happy. So we've got number 9 and number 41, self-discipline and completion. So that's good. 41 equals to 5 again. So we've got lots of change with self-discipline and completion. Then we've got our soul journey cards. You're going to give us one, energies. Oh, look, it has. And you always need this. Remember, you need to have your inner child and play. We always need to bring humour to the situation. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. And then our archetypal energies from Caroline Miss. It's a bigger pack, this. Bigger pack. Are you going to give us one, or do we need to choose? I think we're just going to choose the Advocate, and this is very fitting for the times at the moment, to speak our own truth so that we can recognise others' truth and speak up to others. Light Attribute inspires you to put compassion into action. Shadow Attribute, embracing negative causes or committing to causes for personal gain. So yes, be your own advocate, and be an advocate for those out there that are more vulnerable, that aren't able to speak up for themselves. And so our Earth Magic cards. What does Mother Gaia do you want to tell us? You're going to give us a card. Oh, yes! Oh, look at that. As if we don't have enough fire already. But let's spark our passion. So to get to know yourselves, you can ask yourself these 3 questions. What is your biggest fear? What is your biggest dream? And what sparks your passion? So we've got fire, passion, and fiery signs. And then lastly, angels and ancestors. What do you need to tell us? What's going to give the maximum output, minimum in message for everyone to go on top of that? Are we going to choose? Are you going to give us one? What's the best thing for everyone to know at this moment? That one wants to come out. Medicine Guardian, be open to healing information. And that is what we are wanting to put across. Healing information. Because we are showing you our processes of healing, what tools we're using to get to know ourselves, to get to know our subconscious. And things are just going to progress, because this is like one of our very first kind of proper ones, really, and this is Let's Learn Together. So I hope you've enjoyed Let's Learn, the first one of Let's Learn Together. I like that title, it's good, with Shinto self-empowerment. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll see you next time round.